The Harwich Mariners travel to Lowell Park in Cotuit, Massachusetts to take on the Cotuit Kettleers, who come in leading the Cape Cod Baseball League with 36 points, a record of 18-7-0. Things have been much different for the Mariners as they sit at 500, 13-13. That's good for second in the Cape Cod East Division standings at 26 points. But the Mariners have had the Kettleers numbers up to this point, Wyatt. Back-to-back wins, first coming back on June 19th here at Lowell Park when the Mariners went down 4-0 after 2 innings, stormed back with 9 runs fueled by 4 hits from Seaver King, who's now with the United States team. And then back on July 1st at White House Field, the Mariners were able to walk off against the Cotuit Kettleers by a score of 3-2 thanks to a flare from Kennedy Jones. It'll be nice to steal one from the top team here today, Wyatt, in what should be a great ball game here at Lowell Park.
Well, this is a Cotuit team that is on a 4-game winning streak, and it doesn't look like it's going to be slowing down anytime soon. It's tied for the most home runs in the Cape Cod Baseball League with 21 just past the midway point of the season. It also had a season-high 16 runs in its win at Hyannis last night, so certainly didn't take its foot off the gas pedal and may not even be doing that here.
Starting for the Cotuit Kettleers will be Jake Gigliotti out of Auburn, Massachusetts, a member of the Northeastern Huskies in college. Right-hander, 6'1", 195 pounds, comes in making his 5th appearance for the Kettleers and 4th start. Has a 4.02 earned run average, 15 2/3 innings pitched, 16 hits, 7 earned runs, and 13 strikeouts to 6 walks. Should be a real treat to watch him toe the rubber, Wyatt.
Yeah, Gigliotti had a 3.24 ERA, 8 wins, no losses with 8 starts and 23 outings. Also had 2 saves. I mean, he was sort of that all-around pitcher that you really expect for a Northeastern team that ended up winning 45 games, Devin, 20 in the conference this season. And you consider what Gigliotti gives you. He's going to give you some lengthy outings, someone who certainly can go at least 7 or 8 innings, but haven't really seen an opposing pitcher against this Mariners lineup go more than 5 innings. Saw a couple go 6 innings in the first half of the season. We'll see how far he can go here today.
Dominic Pacone will counter him for the Harwich Mariners out of St. Joseph's. Right-handed pitcher is 5'8", 172 pounds out of Garnet Valley, Pennsylvania. Has made 1 appearance for the Mariners, came in, pitched a full inning, 1 strikeout, but gave up 3 hits as well as a run, making his ERA a 9.00. Well, let's meet Steve Englert's Harwich Mariners, who come back to Lowell Park for the final time here today. Leading off, the second baseman, Jacob Humphrey. Batting second, the first baseman, Ethan Anderson. Batting third, the third baseman, Mason Guerra. Batting cleanup, the left fielder, Lorenzo Carrier. Batting fifth, the center fielder, Devin Obie. Batting sixth in right field is Casey Sauke. Batting seventh at the designated hitter spot is Kennedy Jones. Andrew Yu does the catching and bats eighth, while Ali Camarillo rounds out the top 9 at shortstop. And now Wyatt, a Mariners team that's lost 7 of their last 10 games, started the season 9-4, and since then have become a 13-13 team. Still looking to kind of find their footing here as they tenderly sit in that second spot in the East Division standings.
And it's been a balanced lineup for the most part over the last 5 games. The 1 through 5 hitters, Devin, have had 17 hits. The rest of the order with 16. So you consider that the Mariners just need to be able to follow through on the opportunities they get with 1 and 2 outs. Those scoreless innings certainly cannot come about here. The Mariners don't want to be finding themselves down by 4 as they were last time. Had 4-run deficit in those early innings against a Cotuit team that looked on its way to win.
Jacob Humphrey set to start things off. Comes in with an 11-game on-base streak. He's been sensational for Harwich. Also has a team-high 18 runs this season. One of the guys that's been here since day 1 and played in just about every ball game. Shows bunt and tried to get it down, but fouls it off. And we're underway here on a warm night in Cotuit, which is a village around the Barnstable area. 5:01 clock, or rather 5 o'clock first pitch here on July the 12th. 0-1 is going to be just outside for a ball. It's 1-1. Tough game for the Mariners last night as they fall to the YD Red Sox 6-2. They're the top seed in the East Division. 1-1 pitch is going to be fouled back 1-2. And yeah, it was a game in which they were able to get up early, scored a run. Each of the first 2 innings were up 2-0 before Cotuit stormed, or rather YD stormed back, scored 6 runs of their own. And a very controversial 7th inning might have set the Mariners back as the 1-2 is cut on and miss. Down goes Jacob Humphrey, and that will be the first strikeout for Gigliotti.
Mariners have averaged just over 4 runs per game over their last 5 games in which they've gotten a couple of wins. Got that win against Chatham and a tight victory at Harwich, and then you also get a 5-0 victory over Orleans. I'm sure the Mariners don't want to be falling prone to too many strikeouts here tonight. Started to avoid that last night at Yarmouth Dennis.
Be Ethan Anderson's turn. He's played in every game since he arrived here in Harwich as he watches ball one go by at 76 miles per hour. In his debut, had a multi-hit game, went 2 for 4 with a strikeout, and has had just 2 hits since then. That came back on July 5th. 2 balls and no strikes now to the Virginia product. Went 0 for 4 against the YD Red Sox last night. Was able to score a run after reaching base on an error. It's going to be a 2-1 count now from Gigliotti. Ethan Anderson does also have a lot of power. We've seen him drive the ball right out to the warning track, and he's muscled 1 over, 1 home run on the season, as it's going to be a 2-2 count now. Mason Guerra's on deck, and what a tear he's been on. 2-1 is going to, or 2-2 rather, misses down low, and it's 3-2. Anderson coming in today, batting just 160 for the Mariners as he chops that one over to first base. There to get it is Mathis, and he'll take it himself for out number 2. Let's meet the Cotuit Kettleers defense. They are tied for 3rd in the Cape Cod Baseball League with 27 errors and a .970 fielding percentage. In the outfield, out and left is going to be T.O. Banks. Carter Matheson is going to be in center field. James McCoy's the right fielder. 3rd to 1st in the infield, Josh Pines at 3rd base. Grant Norris is your shortstop. Emilian Petre is at 2nd with Cole Mathis at 1st. And Caleb Lomavita behind the dish for the pitcher and Gigliotti, as this one's going to be laced on a line out to left field. Banks coming in, makes the play. And it's going to be a 1-2-3 first for the Harwich Mariners as Jake Gigliotti wasting no time to face the minimum. We'll take a quick break and come back to meet the Cotuit Kettleers batting order. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back to the broadcast. Devin Dobeck alongside Wyatt Kopelman along with you on a beautiful day here in Cotuit. Around 85 degrees, a warm one here as the Mariners take the field for the first time. Let's meet Mike Roberts, Cotuit Kettleers, as they look to dethrone the Mariners for the first time this season. Leading off the center fielder, Carter Matheson. Batting second, the first baseman, Cole Mathis. Batting third, your catcher, Caleb Lomavita. The cleanup hitter is the shortstop, Grant Norris. Josh Pine bats 5th at 3rd base. Brock Willis is the designated hitter, batting 6th. Emilian Petre is at 2nd base, batting 7th. T.O. Banks is in left, batting 8th. And James McCoy rounds out the top 9 in right field. And we talked a little bit about Dominic Picone. Looking forward to seeing what the Mariners can get out of him in his second outing in Harwich. Before St. Joe's, played for the Rhode Island Rams back in 2022 at a 4-5 record to complement an 8.62 earned run average. 62 2/3 innings pitched, 76 strikeouts to just 32 walks and 70 hits. He's a guy who pitches to contact, but when his stuff is working, really can be a threat.
And you're going to hopefully see him deal a good number of strikeouts as well. Had 74 this past season at St. Joe's, and at Rhode Island had 76. And he started in all 14 games this past season. Steve Engler is going to be looking for him to go probably at least 4 or 5 against a righty-dominant Cotuit lineup.
First pitch is cut on and miss. It looked like hitter and Matheson actually had his hand fall off the bat midway through the swing. Counts 0-1. Matheson comes in, and he's been an absolute problem to other pitchers, hitting .333 this season, now in his 18th game. At bat number 46, he scored 13 runs and also walked 17 times to just 9 strikeouts. He is the epitome of a leadoff hitter, as he's behind in the count 1-2 now. Picone into his windup, wasting no time. The 1-2 is going to be chopped foul just past third base. Mariners catch a break there, and we'll sit at 1-2. It'll be Carter Matheson, Cole Mathis, and Caleb Lomavita due up for the Kettleers, as they were able to jump on Harwich early last time here at Lowell Park, looking for the same success this time. As a ball club come in hitting .264. 1-2 pitch. Misses down low, 2-2. A little bit of a grunt that time from Picone. You can tell he's very appreciative of this opportunity to pitch in the Cape, thanks to all the people that have left the ball club for one reason or another, as that one's going to be chopped over to the shortstop. Camarillo takes a wild bounce on the infield and shoots into left field for a single. First hit of the ball game belongs to the Kettleers, and they got a runner on first with nobody away.
Yeah, you mentioned that this is a ground ball contact heavy pitcher in Picone. Well, certainly just couldn't get it from Camarillo that time, who's played shortstop so well, was actually playing a little shallower than might have been necessary there. He could have been a little bit further back in order to field that ball and maybe had a chance at first.
So it'll be Cole Mathis's turn. Digs in for the first time. First pitch to him misses outside for ball one. 74-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch. Matheson over on first base on the season. Still looking for a stolen base. Rather, he has 5. It's never been caught, so really good efficiency. Count is 2-0 now to the hitter in Mathis, and the pitch is going to be foul tipped off of you, and it's 2-1. Kettleers wearing their home white jerseys with the kind of burgundy pinstripe, says Cotuit across the chest in burgundy. Numbers on the back are maroon with a black trim. Next pitch gets away from Yu, and it's going to be a free 90 feet for Matheson down to second base. And Andrew Yu has had his problems with just stopping the ball. There's going to be a lot of pass balls, and he's been able to make a play or two at the plate to avenge himself, but an early one there on a ball he should have had puts Cotuit in scoring position. Mariners wearing their road navy uniforms. This is Harwich across the chest in red. Red numbers on the back and all trimmed in white with navy hats and gray pants with navy socks. 3 balls and 2 strikes as a strike is dialed in there from Picone. Big payoff pitch coming early on. And it's going to be fouled back towards the parking lot. And so we'll stay at 3-2. Lomavita on deck. Cotuit threatening early on here in the frame. As you would put it, Wyatt, a postcard perfect night here at Lowell Park. 3-2 is going to be fouled back, and Mathis doing a great job of spoiling Picone's put-out pitches, making his count rise early.
It's a great characteristic for Cotuit to have as well, the best record in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Certainly to keep at-bats alive and force the pitch counts up.
Cotuit also a 758 OPS as a team. That is a great mark for them. 3-2. Misses up high, and it'll be a walk after a tremendous at-bat from Mathis, and the Kettleers now with 2 on, nobody away.
Harwich has had its issues with walks, second most in the Cape Cod Baseball League this season. Picone doesn't want to be falling into a situation where he can't get those quick outs, as Gigliotti did, sending the Mariners down in order.
It'll be Caleb Lomavita, who digs in out of the college at Charleston, hitting .306 on the season as he cracks that one over the shortstop. Camarillo to second for 1, on to first in time. 6-4-3. The Mariners able to spin it as down to third goes the runner in Matheson, but now there's 2 away. Big ground ball from Picone.
If you're Cotuit, you still take that. You're never going to have to get runs early against a Harwich team that has found ways to outscore you numerous innings this season, already 2 matchups. We'll see how Picone responds.
Really nice turn from Camarillo and Humphrey as first pitch misses up high. The Mariner defense is 5th in the Cape Cod Baseball League. with 30 errors and a 968 fielding percentage. 1-0 is cut on a miss, 1-1. In the outfield for the Mariners, from left to right is Lorenzo Carrier, Devin Obie, and Casey Sauke. Third to first in the infield, Mason Guerra, Ali Camarillo, Jacob Humphrey, and Ethan Anderson, with Andrew Yu completing the battery for the Mariners. Be a 2-1 count as Picone misses with an off-speed pitch. And pitch number 4, the AB misses up high, 3-1. Picone a long look in, trying to battle his way back as 3-1 is cut on a miss. A nasty little slider there, 83 miles per hour, and now the count worked full once again here. A lot of those early on in the ball game, Wyatt. Payoff. Breaking ball in there. So says Joe LaBella, tonight's home plate umpire. And so Picone runs himself into a jam, but able to escape it. The Mariners take a scoreless bottom half of the first. 2-inning number 2. No score here from Lowell Park. We'll be right back on the other side here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Top of the second inning, rather. It'll be Lorenzo Carrier, Devin Obie, and Casey Sauke due up for the M's, who are still hitless early on in the ball game. Carrier back in that cleanup spot for the Mariners, coming off a multi-hit game. Did not play last night, but also has a 2-game run streak in it today. Carrier, or rather coming off an 0-for-3 night, was able to tally a walk as well as a run. But the game before went 2-for-4 with a run and a pair of RBI against the Bourne Braves on his 2-run blast. 1-0 misses outside to make it 2-0 to Carrier. Mariners need some early offense and steady production as they had just 1 hit after the 3rd inning in the loss to the Red Sox last night. That one's dialed in there to make it a 2-1 count on the lower outside corner. Gigliotti and Picone both work pretty efficiently out in the mound. Not a lot of dilly-dallying. As it'll be 2-2, Carrier fouls off the pitch. Cotuit Kettleers have won their last 4 games, most recently last night against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, a 16-7 victory. As that one misses outside on the appeal for a swing. No, so says the first base umpire, and it's 3-2. Gigliotti trying to win the battle here. The pitch is going to be grounded, but foul down the third base line. And so we'll do it again. Jeff Kinney's the third base umpire tonight with Ronaldo Cockrum over at first. And, of course, Joe LaBella is behind the plate calling the balls and strikes. Gigliotti waiting for T.O. Banks to get back into position. And the pitch is going to be lined into left field for a base hit, funneling all the way down towards the wall. Carrier takes a turn, heading in for second, and he's going to be in there standing with a leadoff double. The Mariners are in business here in the top of the second.
Lorenzo Carrier with his 3rd double on the season, had that 3rd home run against Bourne late in that game to give the Mariners their only runs, and Carrier may have looked a little quieter over the last 5 games than usual, but he still has 4 hits entering tonight.
Devin Obie's turn, center fielder for the Mariners tonight. First pitch is going to miss inside for ball 1. Devin Obie made his debut here against the Cotuit Kettleers back on June the 19th. A 9-4 victory for the Mariners, a game in which he went 0 for 4 with a walk, struck out 4 times, but what a long way he has come, as that one caught him in on the hands. Is it going to be a foul ball or a hit batsman? And it looks like Joe LaBella is going to rule it a foul ball, so the count will be even at 1.
Almost didn't look like it went off of Obie's bat, closer towards the knob.
Devin Obie leads the Mariners in OPS at 843, also in slugging at 466. Ball and a strike now to the Duke player, and he swings and misses to make it 1-2. Obie also leading the ball club in home runs, tied with Lorenzo Carrier at 3, and triples, tied with both Humphrey and Kennedy Jones at 1. 1-2 offering coming from Gigliotti. Here it is, and it's going to be popped up, fouled back towards the woods. And so it'll be 1-2 once more. Obie, a native of Nashville, Tennessee, attended Ensworth High School along with Andrew Yu, who does the catching for the Mariners tonight. They both, of course, attend Duke University. 1-2. Misses up high, 2-2. Obie, a big frame, 6'2", 215 pounds. As another 2-2 offering coming from Gigliotti. And it's going to be cut on a miss, an off-speed pitch that the string was pulled on, 77-mile-per-hour breaking ball. That's going to be out number 1 here in the second, and the second strikeout for Jake Gigliotti.
It's a very deceiving slide. I'm not sure how soon the Mariners can catch up to it. Obie was just a little bit out in front of it when he was able to foul it off of Gigliotti. But Sauke coming up here with an opportunity for a 1-out RBI.
Casey Sauke out of Virginia now digs in with a runner on second and 1 away as that pitch misses outside, 1-0. Sauke made his debut against the Cotuit Kettleers as well back on July 1st, which was a 3-2 win for the Mariners at home, a walk-off victory. 1-0, misses up high, 2-0. He had a pair of hits in that ball game against the Kettleers. Had 6 hits in his first 5 games, 3 two-hit games as well. Here comes the 2-0. And it's going to be dropped in there for a strike, a nasty breaking ball once more, and it's 2-1. Casey Sauke Sr., his father spent 2 years in the Orioles organization. Pretty relevant around this draft time. Sauke not entering the draft this season. 2 balls and 2 strikes, but probably well on his way there next year, Wyatt. It's been a tremendous addition for this Mariner lineup with all the ins and outs of Kalen Culpepper and Seaver King, as well as Hunter Fitzgerald. Here comes the 2-2 offering. Misses just up. Looked to be right at the letters, and now it'll be 3-2. Sauke, a rising junior, was on the ACC all-freshman team. As we're ready for the payoff pitch. Misses just outside, and it'll be a 6-pitch walk to Casey Sauke. As he trots down to first, it'll be first and second with 1 away for Kennedy Jones.
It's a part of the lineup where the Mariners look to Sauke to Carrier for some contact hitting. Carrier gave you the leadoff double, but for Sauke, a little bit of a rare sighting, taking his 3rd walk on the season. But you need it. You need base runners, and only 1 away opportunity here to bring in at least 1.
Kennedy Jones hit the walk-off against the Cotuit Kettleers in his last at-bat. Another opportunity to do some damage here. It's a 1-0 count to him. Jones has had 3 multi-walk games, all 2 apiece. Very patient hitter, hitting just above 200 for the Mariners, as that one zipped in there for a strike. It'll be 1-1. Jones also has had 4 multi-RBI games, including a 4 RBI game when he hit a grand slam. Here comes the 1-1. Cut on a miss, and it'll be a 1-2 count. Jones this past season at UNC Greensboro hit .357 for the Spartans, now transferring to South Carolina to become a Gamecock in the SEC. 1-2 pitch from Gigliotti. It's going to be missing way outside, 2-2. Carrier dancing off second base, messing with Gigliotti as Selke's not being held on over at first. 2 on with 1 away now for Jones. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, and that will be a strikeout looking. Strikeout number 3 on the day for Gigliotti as he's able to ring up Kennedy Jones. Strikeout number 17 for Jones this season, and there's now 2 away.
This is a perfect fit for a pitching staff that looks to a high number of strikeouts. Cotuit averaging 9.5 per game, and Gigliotti has found a groove thus far.
So it'll be Andrew Yu's turn. Andrew Yu, 6'0", 220-pound junior who attends Duke, another native of Nashville, along with Devin Obie. Ball and no strikes now to him. As here's the pitch. In their first strike, 1-1. Andrew Yu batting a team low 172 this season. Does have a .294 on-base percentage. Made his debut back here against the Cotuit Kettleers in the 9-4 victory. Struck out 3 times. 1-1. Misses down low, 2-1. Got his first 2-hit game in the 5-2 loss against the Bourne Braves. Had a pair of singles, and I believe Harwich just had 6 hits in that ball game, so Andrew Yu was trying to pull all the offense he could for a guy that has just 5 hits this season. 2-1 offering. Breaking ball is going to be fouled off to the right and out of play. Make it 2-2. Not a whole lot of gas from Gigliotti early on. Haven't seen him touch really around the 90 mark at all, and has just been living with his off-speed pitches and breaking balls. Here's the 2-2. This is outside, 3-2. You thought about it, but held up. And so now the count has worked full. Ali Camarillo's on deck. Someone more than capable of knocking in a few RBIs. Payoff pitch. There go the runners as Yu shoots it off to the right once more. And so we'll stay at 3-2. Gigliotti in a jam early. We just saw Pacone get out of one. See if he can follow in his footsteps. Another 3-2 offering. There go the runners, and it's going to be foul tipped into Loma Vita's glove. Strikeout number 4 in the outing for Jake Gigliotti as he's able to escape a leadoff double from Lorenzo Carrier. Mariners strand a pair as we head to the home half of the second. Still no score here from Lowell Park. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back into Lowell Park here, as it'll be Josh Pine, Brock Wills, and Emilian Petrie due up for the Kettleers. Pacone into his motion. First pitch here in the home half of the second. Skips by Andrew Yu to the backstop, and it'll be a 1-0 count. Josh Pine, the third baseman tonight for the Kets, as he pops that one back foul to make it 1-1. Pine, 5'11", 190 pounds, attends Indiana, native of Bloomfield, Indiana. Hitting just 121 for the Kettleers this season across his 33 at-bats, as it'll be a 2-1 count. Pitch number 4 from Pacone is going to be lifted out into right field. Shouldn't be a long run for Sauke, as he's under and puts it away while losing the hat for out number 1 here in the second.
Mariners left 14 combined on base in the last 2 games. 1 a win against Chatham, 1 a loss to Yarmouth. Dennis, 2 division opponents that the Mariners need to be racking up wins against. Time not winding down yet, but of course the Mariners, in order to pull out a win here today, they can't strand too many opportunities.
It'll be Brock Wills who digs in out of the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. Native of Holly Springs, North Carolina. You think he has a few things in common with Brian Arndt? Same hometown and same college. Ball and a strike is, of course, Andrew Hughes, the catcher for Harwich tonight, but it would be pretty funny to see Arndt and Wills kind of connect with each other. Ball and a strike now to the designated hitter, as the pitch from Pacone is going to be chopped softly over towards the shortstop, Camarillo, on the run over to first, and it will be in time. Looked like Anderson might have left the bag, but the first base umpire, Ronaldo Cockrum, says he held it, and so it'll be 2 up, 2 down to start the home half of the second.
Feels like just yesterday when Hunter Fitzgerald was making those plays. Now Anderson stepping in over there, and Matt Scannell hasn't played in a handful of games, so the Mariners have had to look for him for that defensive prowess, aside from being a little quieter at the plate over the last couple of days.
Yeah, Matt Scannell has been a big vacancy in this Harwich lineup, as he was hit by a pitch on the hand. Not sure exactly what happened, but of course has been sat for injury purposes, still in the dugout, as the 1-0 is fouled back to make it 1-1. T.O. Banks on deck as Emilian Petrie has an even 1-1 count against Pacone. Pacone, a deep breath, now into his motion. The pitch misses down in the dirt, 2-1. 2-1 offering is going to be lifted out to deep right field. Sauke heading towards the line, trying to get under it. And I believe that made it over the wall. A blast out to deep right field. Petrie able to touch them all, and Cotuit strikes first here from Lowell Park. It's going to be a 1-0 ball game.
Well, it's a Cotuit team that brings the most home runs in the Cape Cod Baseball League into this ball game, and that one wasn't exactly driven high and deep. It was just a towering shot. Did not have a lot of exit velocity, and Petrie has his first home run of the season.
A towering drive down the line and right, and found a way to sneak it over the wall, as Pacone looked like he was going to get out facing the minimum. Now has surrendered a run, and it's going to be a 1-0 count now to the 8-hitter and T.O. Banks. 1-0 is going to miss inside, 2-0. So a big fly from Petrie is where we stand at 1-0 Cotuit. They look for their first win against the Mariners this season. 2-0 is going to be ripped out to left field over as Lorenzo Carrier, and he makes the catch right in front of the Cotuit bullpen for out number 3. But Emilian Petrie's solo shot to right field gives Cotuit the edge. They lead at 1-0 heading into the third from Lowell Park. We'll be right back on the other side. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. It'll be Ali Camarillo, Jacob Humphrey, and Ethan Anderson set to rebuttal against the Cotuit Kettleers, who have jumped out 1-0 here on a solo home run from Emilian Petre. First pitch to Camarillo is going to be zipped in there at 84 miles per hour for a strike. It's 0-1. Gigliotti back out there for his third inning, has had no reason to really waver as he's able to get out of a jam in the top of the second. Next pitch misses up high to make the count 1-1. 4 games today on what was scheduled to be an off day here, Wednesday the 12th, but some rain on Monday had these two teams scrapped, even though it probably only lasted till about 6. No lights here at Lowell Park. And so it'll be a ball and 2 strikes now as Camarillo swings and misses. Another 1-2 is cut on a miss. Camarillo, an ugly swing that time, and he's sent back packing. It'll be strikeout number 6 as the lineup card flips over for the, or strikeout number 5 as the lineup card flips over for the first time here tonight. And there's one away. Jacob Humphrey was the first strikeout victim as he lifts this one out to deep center field. Going back is Matheson at the wall, and he hauls it in, making a leaping catch up against the banister up there. A beautiful snag by Matheson as Jacob Humphrey thought he had home run number 2 this season, but instead it's going to be a long out number 2.
Yeah, Matheson has had 15 hits in his first 17 games here with the Kettleers, but gave a good sense of defense there, just going back, fighting off the sun, and that one could have been gone at Yarmouth Dennis, where the Mariners just came from.
It'll be Ethan Anderson's turn as first pitch he sees is going to be grounded fair over down the first base line, picked up by Mathis, and he takes it himself. It'll be a very quick 1-2-3 top of the third as Jake Gigliotti is rolling through the Mariner order. We'll take a quick break and return. 1-0 Kettleers. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. James McCoy's turn as he's the 9th and final batter in this Cotuit order before we flip it back to the top, and it'll be Carter Matheson and Cole Mathis due up for the Kettleers. Pacone misses with a ball at 90 miles per hour, and we're underway here in the home half of the third as now a 2-0 count. Pacone got to be one of the quickest pitchers as far as in-between pitch time for the Mariners. Of course, Joe Savino, we know, likes to roll about 6-7 seconds in between pitches. But Pacone, once he steps on that mound, you better be ready. It's coming in within 3 to 4 seconds. 2-1. Misses up high and gets by Andrew Yu. It'll be 3-1. McCoy, the only person in the ball game to not have an at-bat just yet, as the 3-1 misses outside, and so he'll still not record an at-bat. 0 for 0 as that's going to be in the book, and he's on with a leadoff walk here in the third.
Cotuit's only had 1 walk up to this point, moving towards the end of the first time that Pacone has seen the lineup. 10th walk of the year here for the 9-hole hitter McCoy.
Carter Matheson digs in. He singled back to lead off the ball game in the first inning. Watch his ball one come in from Picone. It's 1-0. Matheson was stranded on third base 90 feet away as Picone escaped the jam. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. 1-1. McCoy's down at first base. As the 1-1 is going to miss down low. 2-1. Nice job by Andrew Yu to knock that one down. Home half of the third, 1-0 Kettleers here against the Mariners for the third matchup this season out of 4 until the postseason. 2-1. It's going to be fouled back over the snack shack into the parking lot, and so it'll be 2-2. Sun starting to set just a little bit out to our left side. Still 83 degrees here at Lowell Park, a warm one for sure. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and here's the pitch from Picone. Fouled back into the netting, and so we'll stay there. Matheson 6'2", 205, another Indiana Hoosier. That one misses down low to make it 3-2. Native of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Picone has worked the count full once more. His pitch count's got to be up there as a payoff is set to come. And it's going to be grounded but foul off to the right. And so we'll do it again.
The Mariners have given up just about 4.5 earned runs per game this season. I'm sure Dominic Picone has got to be feeling like he has to win this battle. This guy here in Matheson is someone who can really move the runners around, having at least 50 RBIs in each of the last 2 seasons.
Another payoff pitch coming. And it's going to be popped up into right field. Going back out is Humphrey, and now moving over is Obi. Selke calls for it and makes the grab out in that Bermuda Triangle area, and so it'll be 1 away here in the third. Cole Mathis will now step in. Reached with a walk back in the first inning before being the victim of a ground ball double play from Loma Vida. He's behind in the count 0-1 now as that one zipped in there at 85. Picone trying to work around the leadoff walk. There's 1 away here in the third as that one's grounded foul off to the left. 0-2. Kettleers lead this one 1-0 here. Bottom of the third inning. Long look in from the man known as the Beard. And the 0-2 is right in there. Strike 3, ring him up. That will be strikeout number 2 for Picone. It looked like it was middle away. A nice pitch that time that just froze Mathis. And he's going to be out number 2 here in the third.
Well, he certainly found some continuity here, aside from allowing the leadoff walk. Since that home run with 2 outs in the second, Picone looking dominant.
First pitch to Loma Vida's in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Loma Vida grounded into a 6-4-3 double play back in inning number 1. Runner on with 2 away. Breaking ball misses up high, and it's going to be 1-1. Down at first is McCoy after a leadoff walk. Kettleers lead this one 1-0. And here's the pitch. Breaking ball is going to be lifted into shallow left field. Long run for Carrier. Diving down. He makes, no, it hit him in the glove and falls to the ground. Lorenzo Carrier with an uncharacteristic play. An E7 as it will be ruled. And that will extend the inning for Cotuit. Hopefully they're unable to capitalize. But a costly error that time that allows Loma Vida to reach.
Mariners have had nearly 10 errors over the last 6 games, and Carrier looked like he tried to snow cone it in shallow left field, and that was a really tough play. Not exactly bad on the entire sun either.
Probably one that should have been an inning ender, but Carrier unable to hang on. Hit him right in that awkward area where you're not sure if you should hold the club up or down, as that one's going to miss outside for a ball, and Yeah, kind of around the waist area. Might have just handcuffed him and hit the palm of the glove. 1-0. Bounced in the dirt. Andrew Yu with a nice stop, and it's 2-0. And I'll tell you one thing, Wyatt. I'm thankful that I'm not wearing the catching pads today. It's a warm one. I would not want to sweat behind the plate for 9 innings. 2-0. Breaking ball lined into left field for a base hit. Carrier fielding it on the ground. The throw home is going to be offline, and in to score standing up is going to be James McCoy. So the error proves to be costly as Picone thought he was out of the inning, and the Kettleers extend it. An RBI single from Grant Norris, and it's 2-0.
It's not as if they're the most harrowing unforced errors. It's just a matter of not being able to get innings completed, giving away those free outs. The Mariners have had issues with that for most of their losing streak that has gone on over the last 10 games. I shouldn't say losing streak, but collection of games lost.
First pitch misses up high to Josh Pine, and yeah, it should have been a dead game in the 3rd inning, but we extended on. Still 2-0 Kettleers. Count is 2-0 to Josh Pine. Here comes the 2-0. Bounce in the dirt. Nice stop by you, and now it'll be 3-0. And this is why you got to make the plays that you can, and that one that you have to have if you're Lorenzo Carrier, just way too casual. And so now the Mariners going to be in a 2-0 deficit with Cotuit threatening for more. A 3-0 pitch. Misses way up high. It's a 4-pitch walk to Josh Pine. And so the 7th batter in the inning will come up in Brock Wills with the bases loaded. Steve Englert's going to head out there, talk things over, but Wyatt, it's just been kind of the story of the Mariners season. Just can't get out of their own way sometimes, and a prime example of that is Carrier making the error that led to another run, and now Cotuit a chance with the bases loaded.
It also brings you back to when the Mariners, in that first of 2 games at Chatham, actually tried to get the leading runner twice in order to prevent extra runs against them. And for the Mariners, it's just been those self-induced errors that have really made them a team that has fallen to 500 on consistent times in the last 10 games. You look at how games could have changed had they not made early errors, and this is a prime example.
1 step forward, 2 steps back, it seems like. And yeah, Picone did a nice job after walking McCoy. He was able to get back-to-back outs with the runner on first, and then from there it's just been an error, a single, and a walk, and what should have been a scoreless 3rd inning for the Kettleers. Brock Wills, the designated hitter, grounded out to short in his first appearance. First pitch misses up high, 1-0. Brock Wills, 6'0", 175 pounds. Watches ball 2 go by, 2-0, and a hitter's count with the bases loaded. It's got to be pretty scary if you're Picone. Next pitch misses, or no, it's going to be in there for a strike, and so it'll be 2-1. Tough one from Joe LaBella right there, while it looked to be up and away. Mike Roberts not pleased over at third base, as that one's going to be ripped into right field for a base hit. Kettleers already going to come in for 1, try 2. As it's going to be a 2-run single without a play at the plate. And so with runners on the corners, it'll be 4-0 Cotuit lead now.
A lot of speed throughout the lineup, particularly in Norris and Pine, who are able to score. And this is what the Kettleers did last time against the Mariners as well, just hitting the starter hard. And they're finding ways just to move around the base pass. Again, this inning could have been over had you had a routine fly ball made and left.
Emilian Petre's turn, as Cotuit has put up a crooked number here in the ball game, and of course, game far from over. Harwich still plenty of time, but they were down 4-0 against the Kettleers early on in the ball game last time at Lowell Park, and they stormed back for 9 runs. Not sure if they'll be able to do that here today, but it is possible. It's going to be a 2-0 count now to Emilian Petre, who hit a solo home run back in the 2nd inning. Every Kettleer except T.O. Banks has reached base thus far in the ball game. They've been doing a really efficient job of getting through the order. 3 balls and no strikes is the count now to Petri, as Pacone really in a bind here. 3-0. Misses up high, and so it'll be a 4-pitch walk. And brings up the 9th batter in the inning, T.O. Banks. They're all loaded up for him as well. And Steve Englert's going to come make his move to the bullpen. So we'll step aside and take a quick break here. 4-0 Cotuit, as a call to the bullpen with T.O. Banks coming up, and the bases loaded with 2 away here in the home half of the 3rd. We'll be right back as we step aside here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Night is over for Dominic Pacone as he goes 2 2/3, 4 hits, 4 walks, and a pair of strikeouts. His line's still open for runs as it'll be a bases loaded situation for Sean Hard, who's baptized by fire here into the ball game. 6'5", 210-pound right-hander out of Boston College. First pitch is going to be in there for a strike at 93 miles per hour to T.O. Banks. Hard making his 5th appearance for the Mariners this season, a 1-0 record, 4.00 ERA across his 9 innings pitched. 0-1 is going to be grounded softly over to Camarillo. He will take it himself over to second, and the side is retired. But the Kettleers get 3 runs thanks to Lorenzo Carrier's error out in left field, and they lead the ball game 4-0. We'll take a quick break and be back on the other side. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back to the top of the fourth inning. The Mariners trailing the Kettleers 4-0 from Lowell Park. It'll be Mason Guerra, Lorenzo Carrier, and Devin Obie due up for the M's as they look for an answer against Jake Gigliotti, who's back out there for his fourth inning of work. And for play-by-play duties for innings 4 through 6, I'm sending it back over to my broadcast partner, Wyatt Kopelman. Wyatt, take it away.
All right, Devin, the Mariners trailing 4-0. Dominic Picone, the starter for Harwich, just going 2 2/3. The next pitch to Mason Guerra, lifted high over towards the right side. It stays in the infield for the second baseman, Emilian Petre, as he fights off the sun to lip the outfield grass for the first out here in the fourth inning. The Mariners have had only one runner in scoring position. That's who's stepping up now in the cleanup hitter in Lorenzo Carrier out of Miami. A righty-righty battle here with one down. The first pitch, a slider clipping the outer half for strike number 1. Well, the Mariners certainly did not get the runs that they needed last night in Yarmouth Dennis, and they've yet to score here. 0-1, a slider missing outside as it goes to 1-1 here to the Bear Delaware native in Carrier. So Mason Guerra falling to 0 for 2 here today. The Mariners have just one hit, the 1-1. Slider tapped foul back behind home plate. It's 1-2 as Carrier will have to protect here.
You got to think he's coming in with a vengeance after that error that cost his team 3 runs. I would hate to see what happens when he connects with this baseball.
2-strike pitch. Slider floating outside as it goes to 2-2. Jake Gigliotti with an ERA of hardly 3.8 at Northeastern this past season has translated that well here, pitching for a Cotuit team that is top in the Cape Cod Baseball League. The 2-2 tapped back off of Carrier's cleat. It trails into fair territory right back up the mound. Gigliotti here for the Cotuit Kettleers this season, who lead the Harwich Mariners 4-0 with one away in the fourth. An ERA of 4.02 at 1-1, looking for his second win on the season. He's in line if he's able to go at least 5. One out, nobody on here for Harwich, trailing 4-0. The 2-2. Fastball sliding outside as it goes to 3-2 here. Carrier took Gigliotti to a payoff pitch back in the second. It worked out well for him. Devin, he had a single to left field, or a double for that matter. 3-2. Grounded foul to the left side over to the Cotuit dugout. We'll do it again for what's turned into the best at-bat for Harwich here today. Mariners had runners on first and second in the second, had the chance to take a lead before the Kettleers got a solo home run in the bottom of the second. The payoff pitch from Gigliotti. Slider lifted high back behind home plate, shedding the mask. Wilma Vita, the catcher, and he lets it trail into the seats. Approaching 10 pitches here in this at-bat. Harwich looking for its 3rd straight win against the Cotuit Kettleers. Interdivision clash here tonight. Sunny skies here at Lowell Park. About a half-capacity crowd here as Cotuit wears its home white pinstripe uniforms with brick red block lettering across the chests. Harwich in its road navies. The payoff pitch to Carrier. Slider check swing and the appeal down to first. Ronaldo Cockrum says no, as Carrier earns his first walk on the day, and he reaches for the second time with one down.
And that'll certainly help. Harwich got to find a way to chase a couple in, though. Definitely base runners is key for the club, but trailing 4-0 with just one hit through 3 innings, you got to make something start to click. We'll see if Devin Obie's up to that task.
Now over to the Duke outfielder here against the right-hander in Gigliotti. A check back over at first. Carrier dives in safely. Carrier not the biggest stolen base threat here on the season. That hails from the top of the lineup and Jacob Humphrey as well as Mason Guerra. Gigliotti out of the stretch. The first pitch driven high and deep down to the left field line, running over to his right banks, and he lets it sail foul as it goes just shy of the fence.
I think it went over the fence in foul territory. Had home run distance, just didn't straighten it out. Obie's got some serious power. I mean, we think back to the home run he hit at Stony Brook Field, one that I'm sure has to be the longest home run this season for Harwich. A bomb over the tree line.
One on and Carrier, one down here in the fourth. The 0-1. Slider lofted high down the right side into foul territory. Mathis, the first baseman, towards the net. And he makes the catch for the second out here in the fourth inning. Well, the Mariners have had their chances early on, have not been able to bring in runners. Left 2 on in the second after leaving 14 combined base runners on the base pass in the last 2 days. One a loss to Yarmouth Dennis last night, and the prior one a home win against Chatham after the Mariners led 6-0 in the first inning. Certainly needed all the runs they could get here, but they trail 4-0 here against the Cotuit Kettleers as Obi pops out to foul territory for out number 2. Casey Sauke, the outfielder out of Virginia, steps in. First pitch, a slider missing inside of the belt for ball number 1. If you're just joining us late, a solo home run and 3 runs in the third, giving the Kettleers this 4-0 lead. Just 1 hit for the Mariners, 4 for the Kettleers. The 1-0 from Gigliotti, a called strike at the belts with a slider inside as it goes to 1 ball and 1 strike here to the Rochester, New York native in Sauke as he looks to move Carrier into scoring position after a 1-out walk. A throw back over to first. Carrier is in safely. Mariners on the season with 26 stolen bases. They have yet to steal one here today against the right-hander of Northeastern. The 1-1. Slider line through the left side for a base hit on the ground. Casey Sauke holds at first. Carrier holds at second. A 2-out base hit has traffic on the base pass for the Mariners with 2 on.
And yeah, that's a big hit to extend the inning. Harwich has just got to be relentless. It's not going to come easy against a really well-coached Cotuit team who has short leash on all their pitchers, but Kennedy Jones, a guy who struck out looking back in the second inning, a chance to really break this inning open if he can find a way to put a good swing on this one.
Kennedy Jones, the sophomore of Norfolk, Virginia, set to go to South Carolina, looking to move the runners here. Gigliotti from the first base side deals a first pitch swinging strike as Jones trails in the count early here. Struck out looking for Gigliotti's third back in the second. The Mariners trail 4-0 with runners on first and second. Carrier on second, Sauke on first. Wind blowing out to left field here. Gigliotti with a look back at second. The right-hander deals. 0-1, a slider. Tap back behind home plate. Jones will have to protect here. Rising junior at South Carolina. Went 0 for 3 with a walk in that 4-run road loss at Yarmouth Dennis last night. Gigliotti set again, the 0-2. Slider goes way high above the letters, and a good stop by Loma Vida is able to recover behind home plate to his right. It goes to 1-2. Big spot here for the Mariners. Carrier on second. Sauke on first with a 2-out hit to left field. The 1-2. Slider boom to the right side, foul as it goes into the seats. That time a slider at 77 miles per hour from Gigliotti. The Mariners starting to find out how to time it up right. They'd begun to really fall victim to that as Gigliotti has struck out 5 here today.
That will cause some commotion in the pen down there.
The 2-strike pitch again. Slider grounded back up the middle over towards Norris, the shortstop. He steps on second, and that's all the Kettleers need to shut down the Mariners, who had 2 on again for the second time in the first 4 innings. The Mariners, they bring 5 to the plate. They score no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leave 2 stranded with 1 in scoring position. Mariners trail 4-0, still looking for an answer to get on the board as we move into the bottom half of the 4th here from Lowell Park, which hosts the best team in the Cape Cod Baseball League in the Cotuit Kettleers. Cotuit 4, Harwich nothing here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. The Harwich Mariners trailing Cotuit Kettleers 4-0 here at Lowell Park in Cotuit, Massachusetts, as Sean Hard, the tall right-hander out of Boston College, steps back on the mound for his second inning of work. The first pitch taken on the lower half for strike number 1 here. James McCoy due up here after Cotuit brought 9 to the plate back in the third. The 0-1 deal. Fastball zipping high and outside as it goes to 1-1 here to the Kentucky product in McCoy. Reached on a walk back in the third. The 1-1. Fastball lofted high and deep out towards right field. Obi and Sauki conjoining as Obi won't able to make the catch in right center field. A wide turnaround first for McCoy as he stands on second. And it's going to be a double here to lead off in the fourth inning. And that was borderline double as it certainly went into right center field, but instead it's going to be ruled a single. It's the 5th hit of the day here for Cotuit. That flips the lineup card here for Carter Matheson out of Indiana. The Mariners once again getting off to a rocky start here in the 4th inning. And Devin, it seemed as if what had transpired against the Mariners with the Bourne Braves a couple of nights ago, they had a double to lead it off in the early innings, but that one only ruled a single despite a runner on second. The first pitch to Matheson taken on the outer half for strike number 1 with the Mariners trailing 4-0.
Yeah, and they're going to charge an error to Devin Obi on the misplay out in center field. Just got to find a way to knock that down. You give him an extra base, and so he'll be credited with an error. 2 Harwich Mariner outfielders with an error tonight.
A fastball on the outer half as it's 0-2 here to Matheson. Single to left field back in the first, a fly out to right field back in the third. Wind blowing out to right field here. Hard out of the stretch, the 2-strike pitch. Slider missing low as it goes to 1-2 here to Matheson. No runs on 2 hits for Harwich, 4 runs on 5 hits for Cotuit. Got a solo home run in the second to open the scoring. The 1-2 offering. Slider on the upper half as it gets called, looking right at the letters. Carter Matheson striking out, looking for the first time here today, and it's the first strikeout for Sean Hard out of BC.
Just a nasty pitch that time from Sean Hard, but a high-risk, high-reward pitch. That one, a hanging breaking ball that looked like it was going to miss way up high, drop right down the top of the strike zone. If Matheson, who's a very capable hitter, put a swing on that, it might not have landed back down to earth, but Hard will take the strikeout, just a really risky way to do it.
First pitch inside at the knees to Cole Mathis, College of Charleston product. 56 games for the CAA ball club this past season. 66 hits and 20 doubles. Cotuit could use that here with a runner on second and 1 down. Hard, a soft glance back at second, fakes a pickoff attempt. Mariners trailed by 4 runs the last time they were here at Lowell Park before scoring 9 unanswered runs. We'll see what they have here. The 1-0. Fastball shot out towards shortstop in Camarillo as he camps under. Hardly makes a step to his left. Makes the catch for the second out here in the 4th. Mariners need quick outs off of Sean Hard.
And you'll take it following the leadoff single that turned into a 2-base hit. To get back-to-back outs, one by way of the strikeout and one by an easy pop-out, is crucial heading into the heart of the order.
Harwich trailing 4-0 here. The first pitch lofted high out towards right field from Caleb Lomovita, the catcher, running in Sauki. And instead from second base, it'll be Humphreys. The UMass Lowell makes a running catch out towards right field to make the final out of the 4th inning. The Mariners keep Cotuit off the board here as Cotuit scores no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leaves 1 on in scoring position. The Mariners still trail 4-0. They need answers out of their lineup moving into the middle portion of the ball game here from Lowell Park. 4-0 deficit for Harwich here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Mariners still looking for answers out of their lineup, moving into the top of the fifth here from Lowell Park. They trail 4-0 against the Cape Cod Baseball League, leading Cotuit Kettleers at 18-7, first place in the Cape Cod West Division standings. New pitcher into the ball game here in McElroy, Finn McElroy out of UCLA. He deals the first pitch to Andrew Yu, a slider on the upper half. First strike number one here to the Duke catcher. The final line on Jake Gigliotti out of Northeastern. 4 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. McElroy at 6'7", 230, almost as tall as Sean Hard. 0-1. Fastball going off the upper outside corner as it goes to 1-1 here to Yu. Struck out swinging back in the second to close the frame. Looks to get on for the first time here today. McElroy slowly winds the 1-1. A breaking ball going low as it goes to 2-1. This past season at UCLA, McElroy, the freshman out of Carlsbad, California, 16 appearances, all in relief. He went 2-0 with a 4.5 ERA. 22 strikeouts to go with it. Yu, the leadoff batter here to start the fifth. The 2-1, grounded over towards the left side. A rolling ball for Norris. He moves to his right. The Penn State product fires onto first. And it's just in time. Bang, bang play to start the fifth. There's one down.
Yeah, and Harwich just got to figure it out with the bats. I mean, 2 hits through 4+ is never going to get it done, and still without a run. They've made 2 errors on defense that have been pretty routine plays. They just seem like there's a lack of motivation right now within the club. Got to find a way to rally together and string together some offense.
Cotuit getting 3 runs back in the third. That's a runner stranded in scoring position in the bottom of the fourth. Here's the first pitch to Ali Camarillo. The Texas A&M infielder watches it low and outside for ball number 1. Solo home run in the second, getting Cotuit on the board before padding its lead in the third. Jake Gigliotti, a very strong outing. McElroy with the slow deal here to Camarillo. Lofted high and deep out towards shallow center field. Moving under Matheson, he moves to his left, and he makes the catch on the trot. 2 up and 2 down here, and what's a strong transition here from Gigliotti to McElroy.
Yeah, and Cotuit just does what they need to get outs, and it's as simple as that. Ground balls, pop flies. Harwich having a lot of trouble with hard contact. Of course, you had the Lorenzo Carrier shot down the line, and then you had Casey Sauke who singled. But that was just a ground ball. I mean, just no real hard contact against these Cotuit pitchers.
Here's the first pitch to Jacob Humphrey, the UMass Lowell product, to fastball high for ball number 1. 0 for 2 here today with a strikeout swinging to start the first. And flat out to center field back in the third as the Mariners trail 4-0 here against the Kettleers. No runs on 2 hits for Harwich. 4 runs on 5 hits here for Cotuit. The 1-0. A healthy hack and a miss. It goes to 1-1. Mariners still have time. Scored 9 unanswered runs in their last trip to Lowell Park after trailing 4-0 in the early innings. The 1-1. Fastball on the outer half as it goes to 1-2. Humphrey will have to protect here. As you mentioned, Devin, Harwich with 5 strikeouts thus far, but have not fallen overly prone to going down that way. 2 away, nobody on here for Humphrey. The 1-2. Breaking ball bounces low as it goes to 2-2.
Humphrey, 31 strikeouts this season. That's a team high, and he's just 2 off the league lead, held by Garrett Michelle of the Bourne Braves, who has 33.
The leadoff hitter today has an 11-game on-base streak, looking to extend that here. The 2-2. Chopped foul back behind home plate. We'll do it again. Mariners are 4-9 on the road this season, hitting .266 as a ball club. ERA has teetered in the wrong direction at just over 5.1 as Dominic Pacone gave up 4 runs in his latest start. The 2-2. Fastball line into right center field for a base hit. The speedy Humphrey, a wide turnaround first, and he will hold there. Well, he certainly had second on his mind, but he takes the 2-out base hit, and the Mariners now have their 3rd hit on the afternoon.
He'll take that, absolutely. Really nice swing at a pitch up and away in the strike zone. He's able to just muscle it right out into right center field. Really good swing from Humphrey that time to sit on it, wait for it, and then just barreled it up. 3rd hit of the ball game for Harwich.
Just left a little bit high at the letters, and Humphrey took full advantage as he extends his on-base streak to 11 games. The first pitch to Ethan Anderson, the southpaw, skies one back behind home plate for strike number 1. Anderson looking to move Humphrey into scoring position. The Mariners stranded 2 runners in the second and the fourth as they still trail 4-0. Anderson out of Virginia Beach, Virginia at 6'2", 205. The righty-lefty battle here as the 0-1 misses high. 1-1 the count here to the outfielder out of Virginia. Hit .375 with 66 RBIs in his sophomore season at Virginia. A team that won 50 games after making its latest appearance at the College World Series. The 1-1 deal. Fastball grounded over towards the right side. Rolling ball for Petre. He steps and fires on to first. And he gets a calm out to end the top of the 5th inning. The Mariners get a 2-out base hit from Jacob Humphrey. They bring 4 to the plate, but they scored no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leave 1 on. Mariners still trailing 4-0. We move into the 5th inning, rather the bottom of the 4th inning, the 5th inning, I should say. Here from Lowell Park, this is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Mariners get a 2-out hit, but they're unable to move a runner into scoring position in the top of the 5th. And moving into the bottom of the 5th, halfway through at Lowell Park, the Mariners trailing the Cotuit Kettleers 4-0. Sean Hard, the right-hander out of Boston College, back on the mound. The first pitch from the reliever, a swing and a miss here to the cleanup hitter in Grant Norris out of Penn State. The shortstop of Johnston, Pennsylvania. Here's the 0-1. Fastball on a check swing. He went around as it goes to 0-2. Mariners falling behind by a run in the 2nd and falling behind by 4 in the 3rd. The 2-strike pitch. Changeup misses high as it goes to 1-2 here to Norris. Victim of a looking strikeout, singled to left field back in the 3rd. The 1-2 offering. Slider down the middle, and it gets called looking. Grant Norris strikes out looking for the 2nd time here today. Sean Hard collecting his 2nd strikeout, and there's 1 down here in the 5th.
And that was a filthy breaking ball. The spin rate on that thing had to be insane. I mean, it just dove as soon as it got to the dirt around home plate and right into the strike zone. Andrew Yu, a really nice frame that time.
First pitch rolled over towards the right side from Josh Pine. Humphrey at 2nd base. He flips it on to 1st, and rather that was Anderson for a 3-1 putout. As the Mariners have 2 up and 2 down here against Sean Hard. Another Big Ten product going down here to start the 5th.
You'll take those quick 2 outs. Sean Hard, a high strikeout, high walk guy across his last 2 outings. Has had 7 walks and 7 strikeouts. Also has surrendered 8 earned runs across those last 2 outings. Most recently, 78 pitches across 3 2/3 against the Chatham Anglers. 3 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. High boom, high bust guy.
First offering to Brock Wills. Fastball painted on the upper half as it goes for strike number 1 here to Brock Wills, designated hitter out of UNC Wilmington. And as you mentioned, the boom and bust, 5 straight retired here for Hard. 0-1 from the quick working right-hander. Goes high on a fastball as it's 1-1.
96 on that pitch, though. He can really bring it, and that sometimes is his kryptonite because some really good hitters will step in, and 96 miles per hour down the middle gets cranked.
1-1, another heater on the upper half as it goes to 1-2. 286 Wills hit for UNC Wilmington this past season. Started in all 56 games. The 2-strike pitch. Slider cut on and missed. Strike three here, as it's 2 strikeouts in the 5th from Sean Hard out of Boston College. He has gone 2 1/3 innings thus far after Dominic Pacone was taken out after 2 2/3 in his start, and the Boston College product sends them down in order here to close out the 5th. The Mariners coming back up to bat, trailing 4-0 going into the 6th here from Lowell Park on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Six straight retired by the reliever in Sean Hard, the right-hander out of Boston College. Holds Cotuit scoreless for a second straight inning after getting the final out of the 3rd. Due up for Harwich to start off the 6th inning, Mason Guerra, Lorenzo Carrier, and Devin Obie. Finn McElroy, the right-hander of UCLA, he winds and deals the first pitch, grounded over towards the left side, foul. Just the left side of the third base bag as the Mariners trail 4-0. No runs on 3 hits for Harwich, 4 runs on 5 hits for Cotuit, looking to win the first game of its season series in this interdivision battle. Cotuit led 4-0 the last time it hosted Harwich here at Lowell Park before 9 unanswered runs. Meanwhile, Guerra down to the count. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball bounced in front of the plate as it goes to 1-1. Guerra looking to extend his hitting streak here. An 11-game hitting streak for the Beaverton, Oregon native out of Beaverton and Oregon State. The 1-1 from the tall right-hander. Fastball drilled high out towards right field, moving back McCoy. He makes the catch on his knees. An excellent play that time by McCoy, the Kentucky product, playing right field here today as the leadoff man is gone here in the 6th.
Yeah, he got a little crossed up out there. Wyatt started to head back, and then the liner just dived down, had some serious topspin on it, and McCoy was forced to take it down to a knee and make the catch while on the ground. A really nice job to haul it in. Wasn't pretty, but it's an out.
Now over towards the left fielder in Lorenzo Carrier. A double to left field and a walk in his first 2 appearances here today. The first pitch, a slider floating low for ball number 1. Harwich trailing 4-0 here against Cotuit. A solo home run in the 2nd from Emilian Petra, the second baseman, and 3 additional runs in the 3rd, giving Cotuit some cushion here. The 1-0 offering. Grounded over towards the right side, past the diving glove of Mathis. Fair ball down the right field line. And instead it's going to be picked up, and Mathis is able to step on the bag himself. An excellent recovery that time by the College of Charleston product because there's 2 away.
Yeah, it was just a hard line drive, and it looked like it ate him up a little bit, but he's able to reach back and snag it on the line and take it himself over to the bag. Really hard hit, but credit to the play by Mathis.
Stepping in, Devin Obie, the outfielder out of Duke, with 2 down and nobody on against Finn McElroy. First pitch, breaking ball cut on and missed outside for strike number 1. Carrier retired for the first time here today. A line out to right field for Mason Guerra has 2 quick down. The 0-1. Misses high as it goes to 1-1. Obie on the day 0 for 2. Mariners have gotten a slight amount of production from the final 5 in their lineup here today. A hit to left field from Casey Sauke, the Mariners with just 3 hits. The 1-1 deal. Fastball caught on a miss. It goes to 1-2. Harwich trying to avoid going down in order here in the 6th, as Sean Hard had sent Cotuit down to close out the 5th inning. 6 straight retired from the right-hander out of Boston College. But the Mariners have to provide support out of their lineup here. Still only trailing by 4. The 1-2. Slider bounced in the dirt as it goes to 2-2. For Devin Obie, had the grand slam early against the Chatham Anglers to help the Harwich Mariners get ahead 6-0 in the first inning. Stands at 6-2, 215. The 2-2. Slider lifted high back behind home plate. We'll do it again.
And Wyatt, kind of an interesting circumstance here tonight. 4 games being played, not 5, because there was a game that was able to be played back on Monday, but all interdivision matchups today. Harwich at Cotuit, YD at Hyannis, Chatham at Bourne, and Brewster at Falmouth, all in West territory. All the West teams are home.
2-strike pitch, skied out towards left center field. Matheson, the center fielder out of Indiana, runs in. He makes the catch for the final out of the inning. Well, that's interesting. The Mariners certainly haven't had a lot of momentum against East Division opponents over the last week or so, as they now trail Yarmouth Dennis 3 games out of first place in the East Division. The Mariners go down in order to close out the top half of the 6th. Moving into the bottom of the 6th in just a moment, Harwich trailing 4-0 here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. First pitch to the second baseman, Emilian Petre for the Cotuit Kettleers, taking on the outer half for strike number 1. Sean Hard, the right-hander of Boston College, up 0-1, a swing and a miss on a slider as it quickly goes to 0-2. So first a fastball, then a slider from the tall right-hander out of New Jersey in Hard. Mariners trailing 4-0 here. The next pitch, grounded over towards the right side, just trails foul. Harwich trailing by 4 runs after surrendering a solo home run in the second, 3 more in the third. Dominic Picone out of St. Joe's, 2 2/3 innings. 0-2. Skied back behind home plate. Count stays there again. Meanwhile, for Sean Hard, he has been a strikeout machine this season. 16 strikeouts entering today. He has 2 already. Hard having gone 2 1/3 innings thus far. The 0-2. Slider clip in the outer half as it gets called looking. Emilian Petre goes down on strikes for the first time here today, and Hard has retired 7 straight in his latest bullpen appearance.
He's really in a rhythm, Wyatt. I mean, you can't complain with anything he's done out there, continuing to pound the zone, hitting all his spots right now, and keeping this door as shut as it can be against a very high-powered Cotuit offense who leads 4-0.
First pitch to Teo Banks, roped back behind home plate, foul. Hard entering with 16 strikeouts to 9 walks as he retires the leadoff batter in Petre, facing Teo Banks here, the left fielder. 0-for-1 today, reached on a fielder's choice back in the third. The 0-1. Laced out towards shortstop, and Camarillo moving to his right. He makes the catch on a line. Not exactly a frozen rope over the fence, but nonetheless, Camarillo able to move quickly, and there are 2 down here in the 6th.
Yeah, you'll take it. Broke the bat, and sometimes it's all about placement. Camarillo just a few steps in. 2 up, 2 down here in the 6th. Hard rolling right along.
Rolling along with 8 straight here for the hard-throwing Sean Hard. Slider has been exceptional thus far. James McCoy, the right fielder out of Kentucky, stepping in now. First having a word with the head coach and third base coach today in Mike Lowell. Lowell with 3 Cape Cod Baseball League championships. Not easy to win in this league. The Mariners won it in 2008. We heard for some special guests on our home game broadcast a couple of nights ago as the Mariners won 7-6 against the Chatham Anglers in a division battle there. Heard from some special guests, including John Reed, the former Mariners manager for that 2008 championship team. Now the first pitch to left-handed McCoy, a fastball missing the inner half. And the appeal down to third. Jeff Kinney confirms no for ball number 1. A walk and a single to center field here today. The 1-0 to McCoy. Fastball going high at the letters outside. It's 2-0. The Mariners trail 4-0 against the Cotuit Kettleers. 8 combined hits, 3 for Harwich and 5 for Cotuit. The 2-0 from Hard. A right-hander deals a swing and a miss on a fastball high as it goes to 2-1.
Nasty pitch, 94 miles per hour, up in the zone. Tough pitch to hit, but very enticing to hitters.
2 down, nobody on the pass here. The 2-1, a fastball flying outside as it goes to 3-1. Cotuit at 18-7 atop of the Cape Cod West Division standings. It has stayed right there for most of the season. The 3-ball pitch. Shot high out towards left field, running over to his right. Carrier in foul territory, makes the catch on the run. Lorenzo Carrier, the Bear Delaware product, not running out of any room next to 2 fences down the left field side as Sean Hard retires the Cotuit Kettleers in order for the 3rd straight. 9 up and 9 down as the Mariners trail 4-0 going into the 7th inning. We're coming on back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Top of the 7th here from Lowell Park as the Harwich Mariners trail the Cape Cod West leading Cotuit Kettleers. 4-0, 3 hits for Harwich, 5 runs for the Cotuit Kettleers. Finn McElroy out of UCLA, the only reliever here for Cotuit, set to face Casey Saki. Wyatt Copeland, Devin Dobeck, tossing it back over to Devin for the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Devin.
Thank you, Wyatt. As Casey Saki is set to get going here. He has 1 of the 3 hits for the Mariners today. He's also walked a 1-for-1 day and has done a great job of trying to continue to move the chains on offense. It's a 1-0 count to the Virginia product as McElroy's back out there for what will be his 3rd inning of work after a wonderful 4-inning start from the starter in Gigliotti, as that one's going to be grounded into left field. High hop off the infield grass right over Josh Pine, and it'll be a single to start things here in the 7th for Casey Saki, his 4th multi-hit game this season. And now it'll be Kennedy Jones's turn, 0 for 2. He struck out looking and also has grounded into a fielder's choice as Mike Roberts is going to come out and likely make a move. Probably had McElroy on a pretty short string, a guy who likes to make a lot of moves to the pen. And we'll see what Cotuit elects to do here. Still no indication yet. It'll be Kennedy Jones, Andrew Yu, and Ali Camarillo set to go as the Mariners in desperate need of 4 runs. Joe LaBella is going to come out, break up the mound visit, and that will be the day. Or no, we'll have a substitution. I'm not sure exactly who's going to go. It looks like it could be Cole Mathis, who just changed gloves. Not sure if he's going to pitch or not, but some interesting things going on as Labella seems to be letting this whole thing work out. That will be the end of the day for Finn McElroy, though, as he is pulled. We'll take a break and meet the new wing on the other side. Don't go anywhere. 4-0 Kets here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back into the 7th inning. Mariners with a leadoff single from Casey Sauke have a runner on first with nobody gone down as Cole Mathis will move from first base onto the pitcher's mound, set to take the reins after McElroy's day has ended. It's 0-1, a nasty breaking ball into Kennedy Jones. Mathis, 6'1", 210-pound right-handed pitcher out of Catawba, Georgia, in the College of Charleston. Be a 1-1 count now. Comes in with a 3.86 earned run average, a record of 1-0, making his 6th appearance for the Kettleers on the hill with 2 starts, 14 innings pitched, 14 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 walks, and 16 strikeouts as Jones lifts it out to deep right field. James McCoy's there and able to put it away for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for Cole Mathis. McElroy is responsible for Sauke down at first, but other than that, went 2+ innings, pair of hits, no walks, no strikeouts. Still on the hook for what could be a potential run for Harwich as Andrew Yu digs in with 1 away. First pitch to him is nasty off-speed pitch dropped in there at 85, and it's 0-1. Now that the sun's gone down, it is the ideal temperature here in Cotuit. What a beautiful night for baseball. And no bugs either, which is always fantastic. Knock on wood, of course, but just picture perfect night. Some clouds rolling in to provide some coverage and the sun setting to our left. Here's the 0-1. Runs inside, and it's 1-1 now to the Mariner catcher. Camarillo's on deck. He'll get a chance to hit, barring a double play ball from Andrew Yu. Here's the 1-1. And it's going to be ripped into right field for a base hit. Casey Sauke on the move into second as Andrew Yu able to step in and pick up a single. 5th hit of the day for the Mariners and 6th hit of the season for Andrew Yu. Nice swing he's able to put on at that time. And so now there's 2 on with 1 away for Ali Camarillo.
Yu's been finding his way onto the base pass a little bit as of late. The leading batter in the series, however, is Mason Guerra, and he's 0 for 3 here today. But if the Mariners able to push the lineup this far, get the outs going against here Mathis, the two-way player, they could see Guerra have the opportunity for a hit to put some runs on the board.
So Ali digs in and lifts the first pitch he sees out to right field. James McCoy a few steps in, and he's able to haul it in, no problem. And so a nice recovery that time as Camarillo is retired, and two away on a pair of flyouts to right, and a pair of singles has the Mariners with two on for Jacob Humphrey.
A little bit of a rare sighting there. The Mariners have taken Cotuit pitching to some deep counts, particularly in the first 4 innings. I wasn't thinking that maybe Camarillo would be swinging at the first pitch. I know you want to get runners home, but you, of course, have to see the right pitch in order to drive it through.
Camarillo's average on the season has stooped down to 184, and he's 0 for 3 on the day. He started off so hot, was hitting above 300, but since then has really tapered off and become the 9-hitter for the Mariners. His defense still has been top tier with the exception of an error yesterday as Humphrey cracks this one over to the shortstop who will go to third to take the out. A fielder's choice. Grant Norris with a high IQ play as he goes to Josh Pine, and the side is retired. Mariners strand a pair despite 2 hits in the inning. 4-0 Cotuit headed to the home half of the 7th. Time to stretch at Lowell Park. We'll be right back as we step aside here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Home half of the 7th here, top of the order for the Cotuit Kettleers. As Carter Matheson digs in for his 4th at-bat. 1 for 3, had a single to lead off the ball game. Since then has flied out to right and struck out looking. It'll now be 0-2 from Sean Hard, who entered the game for Dominic Pacone back with 2 away in the 3rd and has been great ever since. As a ground ball over to Ethan Anderson at first is going to be a self-put-out, score that 3U, and there's 1 away here in the 7th.
Hart has been outstanding here. He's relied on just that mixture of ground ball, fly ball contacts, more so actually the ground ball and strikeouts here. If he can continue to get these outs, it doesn't look as devastating of a lead, but the Mariners are running out of time.
Cole Mathis will dig in despite being moved to the pitcher's mound. He stays in the lineup. A lot going on here with Cotuit as it'll be 0-1 on a check swing foul off to the right. Sean Hart has been dealing. This has got to be the best we've seen him pitch for the Mariners and what he's fully capable of. This is the exact reason he was taken by the New York Yankees out of high school. He's got some really serious stuff, and when he's able to locate it and lay off the walks, and that's really all the difference as he's now behind in the count 2-1. Mathis on the day walked in the 1st inning, struck out looking in the 3rd, and popped out to shortstop in the 4th. 2-1. Misses way outside, and it's going to be 3-1. Caleb Lomavita's on deck. Very instrumental part of why Cotuit's up 4-0. 3-1. Misses outside, and it'll be a 5-pitch walk now to put a runner on. First walk issued from Sean Hard as Caleb Lomavita digs in.
Still very capable of getting the scoreless outings you need, especially when you're trying to preserve deficits. Second scoreless outing, earned the win, that 7-3 win against Wareham, a rejuvenating win for the Mariners at home against a team they had not beaten before. So Hard is very capable of getting these quick outs.
Lomavita hit the sinking liner out to left field that Lorenzo Carrier dropped and turned into an E7. And Cotuit was able to tack on 3 runs. Thanks to that error, the inning would have ended as he cracks this one out to deep left field. Carrier another shot at it in front of the wall, makes the catch. And that will be a very loud out number 2 here, but yeah, it could very well be a 1-0 game. Wyatt Harwich, unfortunately, just can't stay out of their own way. And you can play hindsight baseball all you want, but at the end of the day, who knows where we'd be.
And maybe you can afford those errors against some lower-seeded teams in each of these divisions, particularly against Falmouth and Brewster, which the Mariners have beaten once. But you have to figure that against a team like Cotuit, these errors add up.
First pitch to Grant Norris in there for a strike. Norris has struck out looking twice. He's also singled, come around to score. It's an 0-1 count with a runner on first base in Cole Mathis, as that one's going to be dropped in there. 78 miles per hour. Great pitch from Sean Hard, and he's 1 strike away from going through his 4th scoreless inning. As that one will be fought off and spoiled foul. Stays 0-2. He has currently thrown 4 complete innings if you include the out he came in for to grab back in the 3rd. Trying to get his team back up to bat with a pitch here. Here comes the 0-2. Breaking ball is going to be chopped over to Camarillo at shortstop. He'll go to second and take the force play there. Mathis knew he was dead to rights. Stop running about halfway. And the Mariners able to face just 4 batters. Still not a run given up by Sean Hard, and he feels really good as he nods off with confidence coming away. We'll take a quick break, step aside. 8th inning coming at you on the other side. We'll be right back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back into the 8th inning here. Devin Dobeck alongside Wyatt Kopelman along with you, enjoying a nice sunset off to our left. Mariners trailing in this one, though, by a score of 4-0 as Cole Mathis toes the rubber once more here in the 8th. Came in relief in the 7th and was able to record 3 outs as Ethan Anderson rips this one out to deep right field. And going back is McCoy, and he's able to haul it in for out number 1.
Mariners need hits. They have 5. They have gotten a couple in the early innings. They got 2 back in the 7th. but you just need to find a way to get runners around the base pass. Need some extra base hits here. Doesn't have to be a huge blast, but you need runners on.
And it almost seems like you're wasting Sean Hart's best outing if you're unable to put any runs on the scoreboard. And granted, Cotuit only has 5 hits as well, but the only difference other than that is that the Mariners have a pair of errors, and one of those costs them 3 runs. It could very well be a 1-0 ball game. And Harwich just, unfortunately, really struggling in the offensive department as of late. 1-0 pitch is going to be grounded over to the shortstop in Norris on to first, and it will be dropped. Jacob Tobias, who subbed into first base for Cole Mathis, unable to haul that one in. Not sure how they'll rule that for the moment. It will be an error on the Kettleers, and so Mariners will capitalize with a runner on.
The first base coach, and Mike Connolly, was contending that that was dropped, and it is an error.
Not sure if it'll be on the shortstop or the first baseman, but I would imagine it will be on the first baseman in Jacob Tobias. So Mason Guerra's on, and he needed to get on, was in jeopardy of snapping his on-base streak, which has really gotten up there. 1-0 pitch is going to be down in the dirt to make it 2-0 to Lorenzo Carrier.
Seen Ethan Anderson make some really tough plays out of the dirt. That time it was a priceless try, but Tobias was able to make it worthwhile.
Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Carrier. Misses inside, 3-0. And yeah, with Mason Guerra came in on an 11-game hitting streak and ergo an 11-game on-base streak. Doesn't have a hit today, so might lose that mark, but what a run it was for him to start. And still time here as it's going to be a 3-1 count now from Mathis to Carrier. Carrier on the day has doubled as well as walked, and he's also grounded out to first here in his 4th at-bat. 3-1 offering. And it's going to be smashed into the netting above the Harwich dugout. So it'll be a 3-2 count now.
Mariners haven't really extended innings. They need to find a way just to get runners in a scoring position here. Great answer here to do it if Carrier's able to put one past the infield.
3-2, fouled back once again into the netting. And so we'll stay there at 3-2. Nice job by Mathis to fight back and Carrier to hang in there. Great ball game we have for you so far. Give you an around the league scoreboard update in just a few moments. West dominating though. 3-2. It's going to be chopped up the middle. Could be a double play. Norris, no, it scoots off him and goes into center field. Guerra rounding second, headed into third. And now Cotuit with back-to-back blunders. 2 errors on 2 plays for the Cotuit Kettleers. That's pretty uncharacteristic in the Mariners now with runners on the corners.
That's a ball you have to have, even if it's an awkward bouncer for Chuck Norris over at shortstop. Just did not really get in front of it fully, and he paid for it that time.
They actually might have given a hit, I'm seeing now on the scoreboard, to the batter and Lorenzo Carrier. If so, it's another multi-hit game for him as he's back in with a head-first dive. I believe they are going to give him a single, as now it shows 6 hits for Harwich. Definitely should have been an error that allowed Guerra to get down to third base, though. Interesting play, as this one's going to be tattooed into left field and down for a base hit. So how about it? Devin Obie checking in, and just like that, the Mariner offense has come to life. They're on the scoreboard. It's 4-1 now.
Definitely checked in. He was 0 for 3 to start the day, Devin. Had a strikeout swing in the second, victim of a couple of flyouts. And for Devin Obie, that has to feel confidence-inducing just to give the Mariners that first run. It always feels like the first can be the hardest in a situation where you had only had 3 hits leading through the first 5 innings.
And so now it'll be Casey Sauke who digs in, and he's been a pest in the side of the Cotuit Kettleers. Pair of singles for him in a walk. He's been on base 3 times as he chops this one softly over third baseman Pine to second for 1 on to first, and it's in time. 5, 4, 3. The Kettleers able to escape the mini jam with just 1 run surrendered. Mariners blow their biggest scoring opportunity of the day, but get 1. It's 4-1 Cotuit heading into the home half of the 8th. We'll be right back on the other side as we step away on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you to the home half of the 8th inning. Cotuit leading this ball game 4-1 despite the Mariners out hitting them 7-5. Sean Hart is back out there for yet another inning of work. This will be his 5th, as he's been so dominant up to this point. Struck out 4 Kettleers, walked just 1, and not surrendered a run, while giving up just 1 hit. 2 balls and no strikes now to the hitter, and Josh Pine, third baseman for the Kettleers, who started that 5-4-3 double play to get Cotuit out of the inning. Now a chance for some damage on offense. Way ahead in the count, 3-0. Hard into his motion, the pitch. Misses up high, 4-pitch walk issued. And that's how the 8th inning starts for the Kets.
He definitely tried for a fastball at the letters that time. He wanted it from the home plate umpire, Joe LaBella, but with that kind of frame from Pine, I don't think he was going to get it. And Hard ran into a little bit of trouble back in the 7th. And I think this is going to be a pitching change here from 23 head coach Steve Engler.
Yeah, he's going to head out there. Hasn't made any move yet, but I would imagine he will, considering it's this quickly. Yes, he finally makes the indication that Hard's night is over. Was on a short string, and Hard nodding in approval. He's satisfied with his outing, as we'll get a call to the pen. 4-1 Cotuit, as a new wing coming in for the Mariners. We'll meet him on the other side. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. So Jacob Tobias will be the pinch hitter for Brock Wills, who's been yanked from the game. Tobias came in to play first base when Cole Mathis was moved to the pitching mound. And now a really interesting move by Steve Engler, bringing in Matt Scannell for his first appearance of the season. As there's a ball, and Andrew Yu was kind of sleeping and didn't make the throw down in time. It's going to be a stolen base for Josh Pine. Yu did not see the runner going, and it'll be a free 90 for the Kettleers. But Matt Scannell, a two-way player who we've only seen play first base in the outfield for Harwich this season, makes his first appearance this past season at Princeton, went 3-1 with a 10.5 earned run average, 18 innings pitched, 21 hits, 21 earned runs. Also surrendered 19 walks to just 15 strikeouts and hit 7 batters. 1-1 pitch is going to be bunted down the third baseline. Trouble. Scannell on to first, and it's just barely in time. Really good throw to get it there. It looked like it had trouble written all over it. It's down to third goes the runner in Josh Pine, and Tobias does a great job of laying it down. a 1-3 put out, and there's one away in the 8th.
This is a Mike Roberts play. You know that this is someone who wants to get a few more insurance runs. Harwich actually out hitting Cotuit 7-5 at this point. So you know that in order to move runners, it takes a little bit of craft as well.
Hard is still responsible for the runner on third as breaking ball's dropped in there for a strike from Scannell. Other than that, Sean Hard, 4 1/3 innings, just 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. He was fantastic, Wyatt. By far his best outing of the year, as that's going to be chopped over to first. A nice play by Ethan Anderson to make sure the runner goes nowhere from third. And the Mariners able to get 2 outs without that runner coming in. Nice play by Anderson to look the runner back and then take the out, Wyatt.
Anderson had a really smart play there. The Harwich Mariners could have had the opportunity to go home, but because Anderson looked and had the footing, he actually prevented him from going home in the first place.
So it'll be T.O. Banks who digs in. It's going to be ball 1 to start him at 75 miles per hour. Ball and no strikes now from Scannell. Next pitch to Banks. Gets through you, but not too far. No advancement from the runner down at third in Josh Pine. Mariners going to need at least 3, maybe more runs, depending how this inning goes in the 9th inning to keep the game rolling, Wyatt. It has been a tough go for them thus far on offense. 2-0. Misses down in the dirt, 3-0, and Scannell going to have to find a way to avoid the walk, although the 9-hitter James McCoy is on deck. Scannell checking the pitch comm. Now comes set on the mound, pitching out of the stretch. The lefty deals in there for a strike. And so it'll be 3-1 now.
I think he's calling his own game out there. I mean, he's getting some signs from the dugout, but it looks like he's controlling his own pitch comm signals.
3-1. It's going to be popped up and out of play back over the press box. And so it'll be 3-2. Kid almost got nailed back there by the foul ball, but they're happy now that it hit no one and they have a souvenir. Scannell looking to work all the way back from being down in the count 3-0. The payoff. Misses inside, might have got a piece of Banks, and good thing it did because a run would have come in had it not been a dead ball. So Harwich catches a break there. Unfortunately, Banks going to hobble down to first. He appears to be okay, is the good news. And so now runners at the corners with 2 away for James McCoy.
And again, it's extra batters coming up to the plate against Harwich pitching. In the last 5 games, Harwich starters have an 8 ERA, 5.79 as a team for its ERA. You need to be able to get that down here, get some extra runs.
Scannell tries to pick off the runner. They had him in a rundown, but it was fired out towards the fence, and it'll be an extra 180 feet, and Andrew, you has to make a nice play to stop it. Matt Scannell makes an error sailing it over the first baseman, Anderson, and that costs Harwich a run. They would have had out number 3 in a rundown.
Again, it's liberties on the base pass that have taunted Harwich at points this season and have come back to bite them as well late in games.
I mean, yeah, they can't get out of their own way. That's now 4 runs that have happened because of errors. First pitch to McCoy, misses down low, 1-0. Banks has moved all the way up to third after almost being picked off and earns his team another run. 1-0 pitch, misses down low again, 2-0. Scannell trying to find that control once again. He's been missing a lot low, which often occurs with a landing point. 2-0 pitch. Breaking ball snapped in there for a strike, 2-1. McCoy on the day has walked and come around to score in the third. He's also singled and advanced to second on an error and flied out to left. 2-1. Misses down in the dirt again, 3-1. Scannell comes set, and the pitch. Breaking ball is cut on a miss, 76 miles per hour. Some really nice bite to it as well, and so it'll be 3-2. Payoff is going to be ripped into right center field for a base hit. In to score is Banks. Rounding first, heading towards second is going to be McCoy, and he will be in there without a play standing. An RBI single, or rather double, for James McCoy, and he extends the Cotuit lead to 5 runs. It's 6-1 Kettleers.
Harwich team looks just a little bit lackadaisical in the field. Although you had the E1 on Matt Scannell to advance McCoy into third, or rather Banks into third, and giving up the RBI double, that's just inexcusable. You have to be able to get quick outs.
First pitch to the leadoff hitter, and Matheson's going to be in there for a strike. Matheson on the day, 1 for 4. He has singled, flied out to right, struck out looking, and grounded out to first. 0-1, foul tipped into the glove, and it's 0-2. Matheson awaiting, way behind in count. Here's the pitch from Scannell. This is way outside, and it's 1-2. 2 away for Scannell. And the pitch. In there, strike 3. Scannell's able to pick up the punch out, but the Kettleers tack on a pair more. They lead this one 6-1 heading into the final frame. Harwich going to need some Mariner magic here in the ninth. We'll be right back on the other side. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Kennedy, Jones, Andrew, Yu, and Ali Camarillo, the bottom 3 in the Mariner order, are the last life. Mariners trailing this one 6-1 despite out-hitting the Kettleers 7-6. Those 3 errors have been very costly. 0-1 misses for a ball. Yeah, 5 Cotuit runs have been scored thanks to an error, prolonging the inning. Could easily be a 1-1 game in the 9th inning, but instead Cotuit capitalizing on Harwich's mistakes, as Jones is now behind in the count 1-2. The next pitch from Mathis, spiked in the dirt. Got a good piece of Loma Vida, who appears to be okay, shaking it off, but it's going to be a 2-2 count. Yu on deck. Kennedy Jones on the day 0 for 3. The pitch to him, strike 3. He goes down swinging. Second time he's punched out today, in the first that he has swinging. The first strikeout for the pitcher in Mathis, and there's one away here in the 9th.
Yeah, he has 17 strikeouts now. It's been a specialty of his. He's come out of the bullpen. Probably the best two-way pitcher Cotuit has had this year.
First pitch to you, misses inside, 1-0. Mathis came in the 7th in relief for McElroy and has just given up the 1 run, which was unearned. So 1-0 count, the pitch in there for a strike. 1-1, 91 on the gun that time as Mathis lost his hat in the process. 7:11 Eastern time here in Cotuit, Massachusetts. So the game has gone just about 2 hours and 11 minutes, and the Mariners 2 outs away from the game ending. Unless they can put up a very crooked number, they would have to just about put up their season high to win this ball game. So breaking ball misses just low. Really good spot for Mathis to miss, but you able to lay it off, and so it'll be 2-1. Finally, Andrew Hughes able to clock in another single into center field. Another multi-hit game for him, his second of the season. And Harwich now with a base runner here in the ninth, trying to make it interesting.
Little comebacker off the mound for Andrew Yu. He's been able to establish a presence for himself in the bottom third of this Harwich lineup. That's where he's been for most of the season. But with a runner on here, there is a ground ball double play opportunity available. The infield is playing straight up for Cotuit.
So now it'll be Ali Camarillo who watches strike one go by. Camarillo leads the team in at-bats with 87 this season. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Misses down low, 1-1. On the day, Camarillo is 0 for 3. He struck out back in the third. He flew out to center in the fifth and flew out to right in the seventh. Ball and a strike. Mathis comes set in the stretch. Not a big lead over at first base from you as Camarillo grounds it over to third, on to second for one, on to first. 5-4-3 they go. The Kettleers close out the Mariners in good fashion. 6-1 your final. We'll take a quick break and break it all down in the Harwich Mariners postgame show. After a quick break in the action, 6-1, Cotuit wins it over the Harwich Mariners, defeating them for the first time this season. We'll step aside and be back right at you in 30 seconds on the Harwich Mariners postgame show. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you into the Harwich Mariners postgame show. Devin Dobeck joined by my partner Wyatt Kopelman here at Lowell Park as the Mariners fall below 500 for the first time this season. They are 13-14, still second in the Cape Cod East Division, but it has not been an easy ride for the Mariners as, you know, the struggles continue. Wyatt losing to the Cotuit Kettleers for the first time this season, last time at Lowell Park, 6-1. And it really hurts knowing that 5 of those runs could have been avoided had you just made the plays you were given.
Main takeaway from the game is that the Harwich Mariners just didn't have the game-changing extra base hits that they needed. They got an unearned run off of Cole Mathis, and to consider how that fares against one of the best pitching teams in the Cape Cod Baseball League, the Kettleers have the second lowest ERA, just under 3.8. You need to be able to provide runs. You need to be able to get them off of game-changing hits, and Mariners weren't able to work that throughout their lineup.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to get the 8 hits, but they just stranded runners on. That was their problem all day today. They stranded a total of 8 runners on base. Were just unable to cash in at the end of the day, and unfortunately for Harwich, they're just going to have to go back to the drawing board and find ways to win, because what they're doing now is really just simply not working. You got to find ways to be competitive and compete, and Harwich has struggled both on offense and defense. I mean, we think back to the Lorenzo Carrier error, which came back early on in the ball game in the 3rd inning. He drops a fly ball in left field, a routine play, and then 3 more runs are scored. Devin Obie lets one get by him in center field, and it leads to an extra base for Cotuit. Matt Scannell throwing it as they have the runner and a rundown. He throws it over the first baseman, and then Cotuit proceeds to get another 2 runs there. I mean, it's just finding ways to capitalize on the opportunities you're given, and Harwich has just made more mistakes than they've been able to take advantage of.
And still, Sean Hard was able to come in. He gave you 2 quick innings, literally retiring Cotuit in order in the 5th and the 6th, as if he only faced 2 batters as opposed to 6. He got 5 strikeouts. Sean Hard looked great, rather 4 strikeouts. And he gave you 4 1/3 innings of scoreless relief before Matt Scannell made his season debut. Sean Hard looked like a pitcher who could have started this ball game the way he had command over a right-handed heavy Cotuit lineup. But the Mariners didn't have that opportunity to make that meet halfway, and Sean Hard just had a wasted outing here as someone who has one of the most outings on the season, right behind Dylan Delvecchio.
It's a tough pill to swallow when you're struggling like this Mariners team has. And big game tomorrow night against Orleans at 6:30. Looking forward to that one. But before we get into that, just to kind of wrap up here, Harwich did get a great outing from Sean Hard. 4 1/3 inning, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. He was sensational. Scannell came in, tried to keep the door shut, unfortunately couldn't, but it is what it is. You turn the page and move on to tomorrow. I mean, that's summer baseball for you, and this Harwich team just has to continue to fight and find ways to put everything together. Some games they get offense, some games they get defense. If they're able to put it all together, they're going to be really scary, but for now, they just continue their slide.
Yeah, you have to consider that it's only one game, and that facing Harwich is a tough team, although it's a team that is very prone to strikeouts. The Mariners only fell to 6 strikeouts here tonight. But for Cotuit, just to be able to get a win here in the season series, I think propels its confidence going forward. It may not look too different in the standings, given that Cotuit has been in first place in the Cape Cod West for most of the season, if not all the season that it's played. It's gone 25 games to this point, now to 26 at 19-7. For Cotuit to still be where it is certainly resemblant of how strong of a pitching staff it has, in addition to the home runs that certainly propelled its hitting attack. But for Harwich to lose one here, it's understandable given that it's one of the best hitting and pitching teams in the league, and you have to be able to move on, face 2 teams in the Wareham Gatemen as well as the Orleans Firebirds that are looking to have your number both on your home turf. The Harwich Mariners have an opportunity to win 2 straight.
So we'll see what the Mariners can make of it tomorrow night, 6:30. Against the Orleans Firebirds. Should be a good one here as we're just about set to wrap this one up. Kettleers improved to 19-7. They now have a 9-point lead over the second-place Bourne Braves in the West Division. Harwich falls to 13-14. They are currently 5 points behind YD. YD still playing their game right now. But yeah, it's going to have to heat up if you're Harwich. Below 500 first time this season. The winning pitcher is going to be Finn McElroy, who came in relief. Dominic Pacone receives the loss in a game that took 2 hours and 14 minutes on an 85-degree night here in Cotuit. The Kettleers strike for 6 runs on 6 hits with an error, and Harwich 1 run on 8 hits and 3 errors. But that just about wraps us up until tomorrow. So on behalf of our entire media team, our interim producer, Luke Robinson, who was so gracious to help us out, my partner, Wyatt Kopelman, and myself, Devin Dobeck, thanks so much for joining us on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network, and always remember to live the dream. We'll see you tomorrow night.